New financing, news distribution, the K, the ROAMEO tour, and investors. Everybody, I'm Steve Reinharz. This is your weekly, sometimes bi-weekly video update for AITX, hopefully your favorite ticker. A lot of real stuff to talk about this time, so definitely stay tuned, stay to the end. Let's get going. Let's start with something that I think is near and dear to everybody's hearts who watches these videos. Financing. Now that our K is issued, we are able to have very substantial conversations with more traditional lending organizations. We are already right now, because I've been working on this for a while, down a particular path with two particular finance companies that could provide us with millions of dollars of financing that wouldn't be dilutive. That would be very traditional type of lending based on our assets. So I want to share that with you because we know that we don't want to have to fund our operations through dilution forever. We don't want to have to fund our operations through lending forever, but this is the step. We go from higher risk capital raised through OTCs to be able to attract lower cost capital from finance companies as we gain a certain mass. And we have a certain mass now, where these conversations are ongoing, real, and hopefully can mature in the next few months to have an announcement where we say, hey, we've locked down a traditional financing plan in the millions of dollars. So stay tuned to that. That is a huge announcement that you should know because there's a lot of chatter about dilution and so forth. Along those lines, you will know that on Thursday evening, we issued the K. Now the K is SEC speak for our year-end results, our fiscal year-end results for fiscal year-end 2025. Fiscal year-end 2025 ended on February 28th, 2025, approximately 3 months ago. Now, that's good because, hey, guess what? We filed on time again without having to file an NT or a notice of extension. So that's very, very good. And that should give, and it does give, finance companies and our investors continued confidence that we're good at what we do. We get our filings in a time. We have a good team. There's no nonsense. We have done filing after filing after filing on time for years now. And I like to brag about it because it's a big deal. I'll share with you, being public costs us close to $500,000 a year when you add up all the various costs, from auditors to outside accountants to filings to all those costs that happen. So it's a big number. We want to do it on time and make sure that our investors have confidence that we know what we're doing and that we're well organized. So the K is out. And the biggest announcement that I want to bring attention to on the K is the dramatic increase in gross profit. So this is the top line profit number that then all of our expenses come out of. And we had a huge gain this year. I think it's up 500% or something like that. And that's a big, big, big number. So I want to ask the question that you guys might have asked, which is, well, in fiscal 2024, why was the margin so low? And in fiscal 2025, why was it so much harder? So the first thing is that our revenues increased, right, approximately 3 times or whatever between fiscal 24 and fiscal 25, which again, even though we're in fiscal 25 now, we just finished fiscal year 25 in February. So stay with me there. So our sales kind of went like, they were 1 unit and now they're 3 units high, right? So naturally you would expect if our gross margin stayed the same, that gross margin would increase, which it did. But what's more important is that in 2024, we wrote off a lot of gear, and that affects that top line gross profit. We wrote off a lot of, or most of the ROAMEO Gen 2 product. What that did is depressed our gross margin overall. So that caused us to have a lower gross margin in fiscal 24, which obviously I knew and I wanted to take the losses in real time. Fiscal 25, we again scraped through inventory and just cut stuff out and off the books that we were certain we weren't going to use again. So actually, what we've been doing and what I've been talking about doing is this is called cleaning up the books. making sure that everything is as accurate, realistic, as up to date. The result for us now is showing because the gross profit number is so much higher. Now, going forward, I expect our margins to be in the 80% gross margin range, which is really one of the reasons why I've devoted so much of my life to this company, is because the model that we have is so profitable, and that profitability should translate into value over time. So read the press release that we issued on Friday morning, and there's a little bit more detail there. But overall, fiscal year that ended February 28th, 2025, I would say is a good year. And I say that it's a good year because it wasn't a bad year, and there's all kinds of decisions that we have to make throughout the year to keep it from being a bad year. So therefore, it was a good year. Certainly, I want more. I always want more. But it was a good year. We're starting Q2 now, as you're watching this, most likely. We have just started Q2, which for us starts in June, because again, fiscal year starts March 1st. So we're in Q2 now, and what do I want to ask you to expect? I want to ask you to expect a lower cash spend. So the various things that we've done over the past couple months to lower the burn, and the burn is the amount of money that we don't get from revenue, right? That's what we use public markets money for, along with inventory. So that burn, trying to shrink. And when we get it even with the money we've got, the cash we've got coming in, guess what? We're operationally cash flow positive. So we're going to lower that burn. That makes financiers happier. It makes retail investors happier. It makes me happier. It makes our team happier. So that, of course, is our stated milestone goal that I have repeated and we've been working towards as a complete organization for months now. All right, we're going to segue into this other point that I mentioned up front, which is called news distribution. Now, if you're an investor, you might be on E-Trade, Fidelity, TD America, Thinkorswim, I don't know, all of the brokers that carry us. Not every broker carries AITX, but nonetheless, many do, thank goodness. And obviously, it's in our interest that more and more do over time. But in the meantime, we've got what we've got. And we have a challenge, an issue is that we prolifically share what's happening in the company. And certainly we use the videos as one of the ways to get the word out. But really what's very effective for us is putting out the press releases and pairing them to an 8K. And what we've learned over the past year is that over the years, fewer and fewer of the brokerage companies seem to be posting accurate, or rather up-to-date news on AITX. I mentioned this in a weekly video, I think a few weeks ago, and I said we were working with OTC markets in order to have their systems be working properly so that other people could connect to it and post our news. We did make some progress with it. A lot of prior press releases that we've issued that weren't showing on OTCmarkets.com are now showing on OTCmarkets.com. It doesn't seem to have translated to the brokerage houses posting our latest news, but I just want to share with you, that's the situation. We're relatively powerless in this, but it's certainly not great from our perspective that people who buy the stock can't go to the stock on their brokerage and see our latest news. I think it contributes to sentiment that what is the company doing, and people just don't want to go to www.aitx.ai where you can see all the newest releases the moment that they're issued, as well as the tweets that I put out, as well as so much other information. So if you're watching this video and you don't see news on your brokerage, use AITX.ai, submit your email address so you can be sure to stay up to date with all the news. Now, the last item that I want to share with you is the ROAMEO demonstration tour, the nationwide ROAMEO demonstration tour that's starting mid-June. This tour is spinning, I don't want to say out of control, but it is spinning up to be much bigger than I think the 4 or 5 accounts that we had originally agreed to go see. So I think we're going to be promoting some of the videos showing you what cities we're in and sharing what we can of the different sites that we go visit. So look forward to that. I think it's going to be very, very, very exciting. We have a small crew of team members that will be managing the movement and the customer interaction and the on-site demonstrations. And I think it'll be really fun to follow. As a company, we're really looking to follow our guys as they go through this adventure. So ROAMEO's looking great. I'm really excited for this event, or for this series of events that will happen over the next few months at least. I can really see ROAMEO continuing to tour well past these few months. I think this is going to be incredibly successful for us. Anyway, everybody, that's it. It's Friday morning. I got a full day. Yes, tired, putting out the K, doing everything around it, getting the press releases out the door, managing the business, managing HR elements and international and cash and everything is a job that I love, and it is a job that is almost all-consuming. So appreciative to be in this position, appreciative for our investors and our fans and our followers. This morning, I just kind of picked LinkedIn as the platform to go through and go through messages that are sent to me. And LinkedIn is great because I get to see kind of that they're real people, like for instance, different police officers follow us and encourage us. A lot of people do it, so it's nice to see who the people are and interact with them. So I did LinkedIn this morning. I'll probably do more YouTube this weekend and Twitter next week or something like that. Anyway, guys, I hope you're having a great weekend. I hope you're going to celebrate the K. We're going to celebrate hopefully Q1 when those results are announced in about 45 days. And hey, it's heads down, grind time for Q2. Have a great weekend. Thanks, everybody.